So now we are moving on to the module 1, introduction to the blockchain. Before moving on to the deeper concepts of the introduction to the blockchain, as we know, this blockchain nowadays are popularly used in many business environments, varying from the supply chain management to the manufacturing, and also in the banking sectors, in the financial sector, in the latest IoT devices, manipulating of the IoT data. So like that, vehicular technology or vehicular networks, like that, so many areas are there where this particular blockchain is going to be used. Mainly, this particular blockchain helped the business environment to improve the transparency and to improve the trust over the business environment. So hence, first we'll understand the general business environment first. And here are some important keywords that I'm going to mention, so that these are the words that will be listening throughout this particular course. Whenever these keywords come into the picture, immediately you should come across the meaning related to it as shown in this particular slide. Any business works in an environment. In a network involves customers, manufacturers, banks or financial institutions, partners and stakeholders. Please remember, always the business involves many stakeholders. It never works in the isolation. So any business work in a network involves customers, manufacturers, banks, financial institutions, partners, stakeholders and many more. Mostly business happens through markets. So it may be any market. For example, the fruit business will happen through fruit market, or maybe the sabji mandi, or electronics will happen through some electronic stores, or maybe the online platforms. Some markets will be there, and these markets could be private, maybe supply chain finances, financial bonds, etc., or public markets like grain market, fruit market, car showrooms. And wealth to business is generated via exchange of assets. So obviously in the markets, what will happen? The assets will be exchanged. Here the asset exchanging may be, the asset may be the goods that may sell or buy, and after selling or after selling, the seller may get the return in terms of the other assets, maybe in terms of money. So wealth to business is generated via exchange of assets, goods and services across business contracts or transactions. So here assets means this may be the goods or maybe the services. So here the wealth to the business, for example, if you consider the in recent times, you may be watching a advertisement called the Urban Company. So this Urban Company, what they are providing is, they are providing services. So they are providing services and making the business. So here asset means, as we discussed previously, it may not be goods, it may also be services. They will provide the service and they will in return they expect the money. So wealth to the business is generated via assets, that is goods or services, goods and services. These assets may be tangible. Sometimes these assets may be tangible. That means you can visualize those assets. Like for example, a TV or a fridge or maybe any other thing. You can go through it. Physically you can see it. So they are tangible, and sometimes these assets may also be intangible. So intangible assets are like mortgages, bonds, patents, etc. These are the intangible assets. While coming to the tangible assets means, as just now I told you, house, car, etc. are the tangible assets. In addition, cash is also an asset with anonymity property. So that means there are wide variety of things. Those are also called as assets, which are used especially in developing the business, and these businesses will happen via private or public markets. So whenever these public markets or private markets, through these public or private markets, this particular business happens, obviously business will not happen in isolation. It involves the customers, manufacturers, bank, financial institutions, partners, and stakeholders. I hope by this time you got an idea of how a business structure is available. Now, movement of assets across various entities in a business network are recorded into a ledger. That means if from a warehouse some items are going out, means in that warehouse they will keep a register and they will make note of that how many items gone out of the warehouse and to whom that particular items have been gone. Item have been sent. This particular record will be maintained in the register. That register is called ledger. So the movement of assets across various entities in a business environment or business network are recorded into a ledger. A business may have multiple ledgers. They may maintain a register for incoming of the items. They may maintain a register for outgoing items. They may maintain register for other services they provide. Like that, a business may have multiple ledgers. An asset transfer onto or off the ledger is called as transaction. So whatever the entry they make in the particular ledger book is called as transaction. If a transaction happens, or if a transaction happen via a condition, then it's said to be a contract. Okay, so that means you provide me this much these many items for this particular function. Okay, and these particular items must be reached to the function by evening 5 o'clock. So here conditions have been mentioned and terms and conditions were specified, and based upon the terms and conditions what they have agreed upon, this particular transactions will happen. In response to this transaction, some monetary benefits will be given, or monetary amount, or the money may be given to the business person, and all these transactions will be recorded in the corresponding ledger of the business person, or maybe the one who requested for the business. So here we come across the keywords like private markets, public markets, assets, where assets are tangible, intangible, and this moving of the assets, where if you record into a register, that particular register is called as ledger, and whatever the movement if you record, that particular movement is called as transaction, and if this particular transaction happen via a condition, then that particular transaction is said to be a contract. I hope by this time you got an overview of how a general business environment works. Now, what is the problem with this business environment? Business is happening fine, everything is fine, going on. Then what is the problem available in this particular business environment? If you don't understand the problem, what is available, then the new adoptions or maybe the new inventions may not be possible. So that is the reason whenever you develop any project, first of all, what is in the existing system, what is the proposal system, why you are going for the proposal system, these are the things we will mention. In the same way, we understand the general business environment. Then what is the problem with this general business environment? If you look at the conventional ledger model means, what is meant by ledger? Ledger is one where the movement of assets are recorded. If you look at the ledger model, there are several participants in the business environment, like participant A, B, and there may be a bank, because the business will also involve the bank, manufacturers. So whatever the parties involved in the business, every party may maintain their own ledger. Okay, every party may maintain their own ledger, and they may make a recording of the transaction. And here the insurance recorders, regulatory authorities, auditors, etc. So everyone have their own ledger. What will happen? Participant have sent 50 items to the participant B. Participant A has sent 50 items to participant B and make note of the sent items as only 40 in their ledger. Who will verify that? Obviously, the auditor has to verify. The auditor has to verify with respect to this particular ledger or by comparing with other ledgers. Obviously, the auditing will be done at the corresponding site itself. Auditor will not be concerned with the other ledgers, other organizations they maintain. The reason is that auditor is auditing that particular participant A's organization only, not the B's organization. So that is the reason the main source for the auditing at the participant A organization is the ledger what they have written. Assume that the participant A has sent 40 items to the participant B, 50 items to the participant B and has recorded only 40 here, or maybe recorded 60 here. Then there is no claim here unless until there is a there is no way of doubting the particular items unless until there is no tally of the balance. So anyhow, they have many things to manipulate in the ledger, and sometimes they may finally they make a balance. But at the participant B, whenever the 50 items have been reached, the participant B may record it as only 40 items reached. So obviously here 60 items may be sent, 50 items were sent by the participant A, but it was recorded as only is recorded as 60 items, but this 50 items was received at participant B, but they have recorded it as 40 items. So this discrepancy cannot be identified by general audit, because each participant in this particular business environment have maintained their own ledgers. So that is the main problem, where the discrepancies or maybe the mis entries or maybe the wrong entries cannot be identified by the auditing. So that is the reason we require a specialized technology where there should not be any, it should avoid the discrepancy, it should avoid what you call it will build it should build the trust of the business, and also it should, once the particular entry has been made, that entry has to be reported to all the participants in the business environment, so that no need to make their own entries at their own site. With this particular idea, many people have thought of what to do and how to proceed further. So the first and foremost, the cryptocurrency, which is called Bitcoin, have came into the picture, and that particular Bitcoin have used this blockchain as the backbone technology for making a shadow currency or a secret currency. It has ensured the immutability concept, increased the trust, and given the strength to the transactions, and also boosted the strength of the contract. This is also called as distributed ledger technology, where instead of keeping a separate ledger at every participant, only a single ledger will be maintained at every organization. If any change happened in that particular ledger, that particular change will be reflected throughout the participants to the all participants who are involved in the particular business environment. That is what the distributed ledger technology. So the problem of this conventional ledger model we came across, the problem is separate ledger keeping is inefficient, inexpensive, and also vulnerable. So that is the reason the main focus was made on the distribution of this particular ledger instead of keeping at one place. Let us look at some of the example games here. The first game is average age secure sum. A company wants to know the average age of their customers using its product XYZ. Okay. So who are the employees or who are the customers? What is the average age of the customer who are using the product XYZ? Many customers are not willing to provide their age. Hence, this game is about how to collect and calculate the average age and secure some of the age. So here, this is also like this. The participants should not lie about their age, and many participants involved in while giving the age. This is particular like how we have seen in the previous thing. Here we have seen with respect to the transaction of the goods. Here this game is considered about the transaction of the items. Transaction of the age. That means age has to be given to the company in a secret way, so that other customers should not view the age of the another customer, and only the company who collects the age should be in a position to go for the average secure sum of the particular age who are using the product XYZ of that particular company. Now game 2, secure rating of a product. A company launched a product and first asked for their employee to use and provide rating to it. So a company has launched a product and asked their employees, first you use it and provide the rating. Now the game is to collect the average rating of the products from the employee without revealing their identity. So if some employees may be there who don't like this, so directly they may put 0 or 1 for the rating, or some employees may be giving 5 to get the appraisal from their bosses. So that is the reason here, without revealing the identity of the employee has to provide the rating. So in the previous case, whatever the customer gives age, that age should not be known to other customers. Okay. So here customer is known, but the age is not known. In the second game, rating may be known, but who have given the rating, it should not be known to the company. Here, without revealing their identity, they have to give this. Next one is secure donation. Game 3. A voluntary organization collecting donation for a public cause. Now, the game is that some donors are not interested to reveal their identity and also not willing to reveal the amount they donate. Look at this. Game 3 is the combination of first and second game. The game 3 is here, they don't want to, the donors don't want to reveal their identity and also the amount they donate. In the first case, their customers are revealing, is ready to give their identity but not the age. In the second game, the employees are willing to give the rating but not interested to reveal their identity. In the third game, the donors are not interested to reveal their identity and also the amount they donate. So how these particular situations can be dealt? How these particular problems can be solved? Obviously, we have a powerful tool in computer science which is called cryptography, where the cryptography mainly ensures the confidentiality, integrity, and authentication of the information. So we can directly use the confidentiality, authentication, integrity related concepts in this particular games, so that the problem statement can be, problem situation can be solved. The confidentiality can be achieved with the help of encryption. Authentication will be achieved with the help of the generation of the keys, public key and private keys. Integrity can be achieved with the help of the cryptographic hash functions. So the blockchain will also use these three concepts to make the to make this particular secrecy and trust in the business environment. So in this particular games, the first and foremost analysis that you are supposed to perform is how to start the game. That means who is the customer has to give the first age. Okay, age first. So here, if any customer is giving the age first, obviously, if anyone add their age, whatever the resultant sum will get from that, if they subtract, they will get their previous age. So who has to start this particular thing? So obviously, company may give some large number, and that particular large number will be added to the first customer age, so that the second customer don't know what is the age submitted by the previous customer. So like that, this particular chain of adding of the age may be done, and finally, after collection of all the ages, the company know what is the long number that has been initially provided, that may be subtracted from the total sum, so that they will get the age of all the customers they have collected, and the total age that they have collected by the number of customers will get the average age. So this is the way they can make a manipulation and can get the things. And during the age giving, they may encrypt, the customers may encrypt and may give it, and so that the same decryption may be used by the company, and finally they may make use of the particular age. So who has to start this game, and how to start this game, and who to start the game? So we have answered this particular thing with respect to the game one. How to hide the age, rating, and donation amount from others? Obviously, just now we discussed the CIA triangle, that is confidentiality, integrity, and authentication, that we have studied in the cryptography concepts. So that can be adopted over here to answer this particular question. How to validate the input such that the provider cannot deny the input in future? In future, whatever the customer has provided the age, okay, he cannot deny that I have not provided this particular age. So this problem can be solved with the help of cryptography itself. Other than the CIA, there is another property called non-repudiation. Non-repudiation means a sender of a message cannot deny that he has not sent the message in future. This will be achieved with the help of a concept called digital signature. So cryptographic digital signatures will be helpful in achieving this particular question. That is answer to this particular question. How to take average of inputs age and ratings and sum of the donation without knowing the input. As I just now told you, initially the company may give you the long number or some other number in an encrypted form, and to that the remaining people may add their age or donations or whatever it may be. Finally, the company know what is the longest number they have given. That will be subtracted from the total amount, and then whatever they got is the amount or age, total age what they will get easily. So like this, we can also say we can also have a powerful tool, or we can say a powerful cryptography concept available in our security mechanisms, which is called as zero knowledge proof. That means without knowing what is that, we will be in a position to prove that, called zero knowledge proof, that may also be adopted here to answer this particular question. How to take average of inputs, age and rating and sum of the donations without knowing the input. So this is what is called zero knowledge proof can be implemented over here. So finally, we come across the real world situation problems, real world problems in the business, and with respect to the various games here, which was mentioned here, and finally we come to know that cryptography will be most suitable thing to solve these particular questions that we have asked for here. So the same thing is also a problem in the business environment, so that whatever the items or whatever the transaction they entered into the ledger by a particular organization, for example, here participant A's organization is there. In future, participant A should not deny that I have not sent these many items to participant B. And participant B should not be in a position to deny that I have not received these items from participant A. So like this, all the participants should be in a position to work in a trusted environment and to make the business model more transparent, more transparent, more trustable, and there should not be any scope of having the discrepancy in the entry of the transactions, and also the corruption in the amount or maybe the transactions which are recorded in the entire business environment. To this end, the blockchain will be helpful uh, for achieving the transparency, for achieving the trust, for achieving the this kind of things. So the blockchain concept will internally use the cryptography concepts, okay, and will form a distributed ledger so that it will achieve the transparency and trust in the business environment. What is the distributed ledger technology? Blockchain is a trusted distributed ledger which is shared across the business processes. It allows a shared, replicated, permission ledger with consensus, provinces, immutability, and finality. So here, permission ledger with consensus. Okay, here provenance. Provenance means the who is the author of the particular transaction. Okay, and history of the authors. Immutability, which cannot be changed, and finality. Once it was created, it is final. So that is what the distributed ledger technology, which is we can call it as a blockchain. So this blockchain is the backbone of cryptocurrency. So blockchain is considered as we can say in general terminology, blockchain is considered as the internet, and cryptocurrency is considered as the email. Email will not work without internet. In the same way, the cryptocurrency will not work without blockchain. So blockchain is a distributed ledger technology which is a backbone for many of the applications, including cryptocurrency. Here, many of the applications means decentralized applications, okay, including cryptocurrency. So this is the figure you can see here. Participant A, B, C, everybody will be having the single ledger that will be distributed across the participants in the business environment. In this way, blockchain will avoid many problems, many risks that are involved in the business environment. In the next lecture, we'll see some more advantages of the blockchain with respect to the currency. So far, we are not discussing about the currency. We have only discussed the entry of the transaction in the ledger. We will see in the next lecture how this particular blockchain will also solve the currency problems or the currency exchanges in the business environment.